Welcome to our PLC, where we can talk about our findings from our problem that we had with our writing from a few weeks back. So this is for my class Edol 647 and Action Research Signature Assessment. Our agenda for the day is going to be my vision statement, and then it's going to be our problem statement, what our hypothesis was, our baseline data, the research articles, and then what I did to implement each problem. All right, my vision statement is I aspire to create a classroom environment where students recognize their fullest potential and are inspired to explore the world of possibilities that await them. By building strong relationships with my colleagues and collaborating in a professional learning community, I am committed to fostering a student-centered, data-reflective approach that prioritizes the needs and interests of each student. Through mutual support and shared insights, we can work to ensure that every student reaches their optimal potential while continuously growing together as a learning community of respect and rapport. Any questions?
I don't have any right now.
All right. My problem statement was that fourth grade students are having trouble progressing past basic sentence structure and are struggling to develop their ideas in well-organized, cohesive paragraphs or essays. While many can write simple summaries or basic descriptions, they find it challenging to elaborate on their ideas and add depth to their writing. So this is what we kind of discussed earlier about all the problems that our kids were having with writing. Hypothesis. So I hypothesized that if students are provided with graphic organizers to structure their writing, they would be able to organize their thoughts more clearly, develop their ideas more effectively, and produce more cohesive and well-organized written work. As a result, students will demonstrate improved writing skills, leading to higher proficiency levels in their writing. So wanting to see what the graphic organizers are going to do. I think they're going to do a great job for our students. So let's see. So two of the articles that I have says that research indicates that graphic organizers significantly improve students' writing abilities, especially in narrative and descriptive writings. The second one says many students need some help to start writing, especially with open-ended questions and during the writing process. Using a graphic organizer can assist students in organizing their thoughts in a more structured way, and that's from the Watson Institute. So the baseline data was collected from an opinion writing prompt, which assessed 18 fourth grade students using the Kentucky Academic Standards Writing Rubric to measure their writing. The data reveals that a majority of students are performing below proficiency. So for my fourth grade class, we have 12 performing at novice, 4 at apprentice, and 2 at proficient. So this is what my baseline data I'm using for prior to implementation of using graphic organizers. So this is what it looks like before the use of graphic organizers in writing. Any questions right now?
No.
And then I just put up here the Kentucky rubric for opinion writing that I used. And it starts from novice and goes over to distinguished. So I'll let you all look at that a little bit closer later on. So implementation 1, implementation of graphic organizers in writing so that students can organize their thoughts clearly before and during writing. I'll begin by selecting an appropriate organizer based on the type of writing students will do. So I picked out an organizer for opinion writing specifically. And then here are the positives of my first implementation. So one of the positives was that students wrote a stronger introduction, and then the second was that they wrote a stronger conclusion. So that organizer specifically had and organized spots for a strong introduction and a strong conclusion. So that was the positives. The negatives of my first implementation were time limitations. It takes away half of the time that you have for writing to actually use a graphic organizer. So that was negative. a lot of scaffolding still. I felt like a lot of hand holding going on. And then there's not really a whole lot of creativity or depth. And then they're still weak with their reasoning and examples. So after implementation 1, this shows a little bit subtle results of improvement. 1 kid moved over to proficient, so now I have 3 proficient, and then 6 apprentice and 9 novice. So it did help with a more clear introduction and conclusion, but still a lot of that reasoning and depth was not there. So reflection, students' writing was better organized, but still lacked description and depth. I realized I needed to provide more modeling before using each organizer. Also, because we spent so much time on pre-writing with the organizers, it resulted in not having any time for peer feedback before they started writing. Effective peer feedback is critical when students lack ideas, reasoning, and depth in their writing. Just giving graphic organizers alone did not hinder the results I was hoping for. So I decided to do some more modeling, more scaffolding, and providing reasonings within my own graphic organizer model that I gave. Next steps, model writing in the organizers. Think aloud when modeling, reasons and examples, and then peer feedback. Implementation 2. So what I did after those results to hopefully get better results with my second implementation of the graphic organizers. I realized graphic organizers alone were not going to be enough. Okay. Re-implementation of graphic organizer strategy for writing with additional modeling and providing a pre-filled example in the organizer. Also, there will be a dedicated time for peer feedback and collaboration so students can provide stronger reasoning and details. Positives of implementation 2. So this time I saw stronger reasoning and evidence with their organizers because this time I had already modeled it. They had an example of what needed to be in there. It just flowed more logically for most of them, and then improved writing sequence. Their writing was just a whole lot better and much better organization. Negatives of implementation 2. Again, time limitations. It's doubling the time because you are spending more time modeling the organizer before they actually get to writing, and then also adding that extra time for peer feedback. Negatives of implementation 2, 0 students with IEPs showed any growth. So even with the modeling and scaffolding, no students that had IEPs showed any growth. So after implementation 2, we had 2 that are showing distinguished in opinion writing, 4 proficient, 5 apprentice, and then 7 novice. So the results did get better with the graphic organizers and with modeling. And here's my reflection. The second implementation of graphic organizers along with modeling and think aloud showed results in improving student performance on 4th grade opinion writing. More students were able to organize their ideas clearly and present stronger, more connected arguments. This approach helps students structure their writing better, develop reasoning more effectively, and overall improve writing proficiency. All of my students with IEPs did not show any growth. The next steps will be to focus on closing that gap. The same thing that I just said. This is going to be more for the students that did not show any growth. Maybe trying some assistive technology, voice to speech with those students, some sentence stems and sentence starters, and then just trying to close that gap for them. This is my references. Is there any questions?
Nope, I do not have any questions.
All right, thank you.